Hello, Gelato Familia. It's George, the Disney Italiano, coming to you with another live. I greatly appreciate the patience for anyone that got the notification that I was going live a couple hours ago. Had some technical difficulties with the computer or StreamYard or what have you. I just could not get it working, so I ended up pushing the live back further and further. So since it started working, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to hit the button and let's, hit the ground running. So again, I appreciate everyone's patience, whoever got the notification, and greatly apologize for the delay. But I just felt like coming on, doing a live. What the heck, it's a typical Wednesday afternoon here, so I thought, yeah, let's just do a live. Not too much going on with the news and the theme parks lately. Just a little bit, and that I wanted to discuss and bring up, but more so with the animation building that's coming along well at Disney's Hollywood Studios down at Walt Disney World. That they're adding in a back end, like how to draw like animation and what have you, and they're going to have an audio animatronic of Olaf. And I love how Disney is incorporating audio animatronics, even if it's very subtle, into these experiences. It may not be an e-ticket attraction, but for instance, like you do have an e-ticket attraction in Rock and Roller Coaster, but they're going to add Scooter and the Penguins as audio animatronics in the queue line. So, and to have an audio animatronic Olaf be part of the animation process, I think is going to be really cool. Josh Gad already recorded his lines for the experience. I don't know if the audio animatronic is going to be high tech like how the one is showcased walking around in Arendelle at Disneyland Paris, but I think honestly it'll be a very refreshing update. And probably when they went back in to redo the audio animatronics for Frozen Ever After at Epcot, they were probably like, okay, well, since we're going to refine and redo these audio animatronics, why not make a second one and we'll put it in the animation building. So I think that's very clever, very smart of Disney. Lucas Sanchez says, hi, how are you doing? How was your day? Well, thank you, Lucas. Greatly appreciate it. My day was really well, honestly. It's very pretty day out, and it's actually only going to get hotter. That I plan on going to Universal on Friday, I believe, with a friend of mine, and then we're going to go see Scream 7 at the City Walk. So, and they said it's calling for a scorcher that day. So they said my friend Mademoiselle said it's supposed to hit 92. Went down to 89, but it's supposed to be 92 that day. So it looks like I'll be doing Jurassic that day as well. Keep cool. But yeah, today I'm doing really well. As I said, it's just another Wednesday afternoon. But hey, you know what? It's another day. You wake up, you're healthy, you're happy. That's all that matters. The other thing I also wanted to touch upon too was there was a lot of talk of with Villains Land going into Magic Kingdom, and there was a lot of talk of saying that Josh D'Amaro, who is now going to be CEO, told the Imagineers go back to the drawing board. He wants bigger, bolder, better for the land, which I'm for sure he did say that, but from sources and friends that were telling me that this had already occurred. This had already happened. They already know kind of the plans of what they're doing with it. This just happened to get out into the community later rather than sooner. So I just kind of wanted to put that to rest, that after talking to people, that Josh D'Amaro did go to the Imagineering teams who are working on the project and said he wanted this, but this was like way back, probably even before they even made the announcement in 2024. And the same goes for Monsters Inc. as well. A lot of people are saying, that they may be incorporating more animatronics than screens, which eventually they probably will. And kind of going back to the animation building, of how they're incorporating Olaf, I'm for sure that they'll probably have maybe like an animatronic Mike Wazowski the in the new Monsters Inc. show that's replacing Muppets. They may have a few more monster animatronics like throughout the queue line while you're waiting to get into the theater. So I'm for sure that they'll incorporate that. But again, I think this was probably already in rotation to when they made these announcements back in D23 in 2024, rather than, them doing this now. So I mean, there's just there's a lot going on, but it's basically the same stuff we kind of already suspect and know, kind of thing. They're probably just holding out till D23, which is literally coming upon us. I mean, we're already, heading into March, and we'll only have, once it hits March 14th, it'll be 5 months to the day that D23 will be back at the Anaheim Convention Center. But then March 18th is going to be the shareholders meeting, which is basically the first day on the job as CEO for Josh D'Amaro, and also Dana Walden as president and chief creative officer of the Walt Disney Company. So I have a feeling they're going to announce the ticket prices, the ticket tiers for D23, probably sometime after March 18th. It'll probably be the last week of March, because head of D23, Michael Vargo, made an announcement at the Disney California Adventure 25th anniversary, the 25th anniversary event, that the D23 announcement of the tickets and everything should come soon, but the actual tickets will go on sale the first week of April, which I'm still trying to wrap my head around of how they would do this, because I'm trying to go back to the dates of when the tickets went on sale, and not really the first week of April, but it's moving into the second week, because April 5th, that Sunday, is Easter. I don't think Disney or D23 would want to sell tickets over the weekend of Easter weekend. So I think it would probably be if it was to be the first week, it would be the first week right leading up to Easter, or it would be the second week of April. That's like right after Easter Sunday. So so that's probably what's going to be going on there. So you kind of have to already be ready. Again, not knowing how much tickets are, and but you kind of have to like set like a game plan in your head blindly, because D23 even dropped an event that's going to go on April 9th, and it's basically Walt Disney's LA experience, where you go to the studio in Burbank, you go to Walt Disney Imagineering on Flower Street, you go to Tam O'Shanter, you go to Walt's Barn, and all these other experiences. And they just announced it today, and it's $1,999 plus a $3 processing fee per ticket, and tickets go on sale on the 27th. So literally, they make the announcement today, 2 days later, that's what it is. So Disney and D23 is very notorious for dropping prices for things very close to when they go on sale. And that's what happened 2 years ago. They announced the ticket tiers and the ticket pricing for D23. 1 week later, that's when they went on sale. And as I said, Michael Vargo said it's probably going to be the first week of April or the very beginning of April. So I'm guessing it would be either the first or second week, either before Easter or after Easter. So we got Giant Peter Adventures. It's never hollow until I join the live. Well, absolutely, Peter. And we actually gave you an extra shout out yesterday. I think it was. I thought you were still in the chat when you missed my ex-wife joke, and I thought, where's Peter at? And Tommy said, oh, I think he went to a movie or something. So I was like, go figure. Let's see. OG mentioned that it could probably be less than 2,000 to do that list of stuff. So yeah, I mean, because here's the thing. I mean, if you go back on Holo Gelato, Abby and I did kind of like our own little personal Walt Disney experience. We went to the barn. We've been up at the studio up at Burbank many a times. We've been to the barn. We even stopped by Walt's old studio when it was the Disney Brothers studio, and him and Roy's first houses when they first moved to LA. So really the only thing that I would really be interested in is going into Imagineering. I've been on the creative campus for a few events, but I never actually walked into the main headquarter buildings on Flower Street. But I mean, is that really worth $2,000? I mean, and that's per person. So for me and Abby, that would be $4,000. That is literally half the price of a 10-day Southern Caribbean on the Disney Fantasy. Pick and choose your battles, people. You're confirmed for that for the Disney tour, and then went to a movie. What was the movie? The next month is busy. Let's see. The next month, Shane Narani, welcome. Sean Narani, sorry, welcome in. The next month is busy for Disney between Hoppers, SXSW, shareholder meeting with new CEO and CCO, Disney Adventure, and the opening of Frozen and others in Paris. That is very true. It is going to be very busy. I think it's like very sporadic, of things like across all globes of the Disney company, and it'll start trickling in, and then once it's like officially opened, there'll be more stuff to discuss and everything. But yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to the shareholders meeting, just because literally it's the first day back from vacation. So we're going to be down in Florida at Walt Disney World and Universal Orlando for 2 weeks. And then we come back, and then it's the shareholders meeting. So me and Theme Park Conductor will be doing a live in real time of the shareholders meeting. So, yeah. So, so I can't wait for that. We got John, make it rain in the house. Let's go. Absolutely. But yeah, and speaking of our trip, coming up, it's coming up very fast. We literally are leaving next week. Literally, we'll be down in Florida for 2 weeks, Universal Orlando, and then Walt Disney World. It'll be Tommy Tune and Theme Park Conductor's very first time doing this Orlando, Florida experience with Walt Disney World and Universal Orlando. They have no idea what they're getting into, and that's the exciting part. That's what I cannot wait for them to see and experience, because it's interesting when there's something new and you go and experience it. For instance, like when Tropical Americas opens, or Monsters Inc., Cars, Villains, what have you, or even just an individual attraction, like when the Muppets take over Rock and Roller Coaster and stuff like that, and the newly revamped Buzz Lightyear and Big Thunder Mountain. But the fact is that everything is going to be new for them, everything, and I can't wait for them to experience it. Let's see. Giant Peter Adventure says the movie was a special event film called Homecoming that talked about the MLB opening day in Tokyo from last year and the impact baseball had on their culture in Japan. Oh, nice. I see awesome visuals of Japan, and even I posted of seeing why OLC goes so hard for quality at Tokyo Disney. And then we got Crystal Ray in the house. Welcome in, Crystal. So glad to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope everything is all well. And says, "Hey George, have a blast." Thank you so much, Crystal. Greatly appreciate it. And yeah, so we will be doing a lot of content between Universal Orlando and Walt Disney World, between the three of us. But I also told the guys to just kind of like accept and embrace, the Florida parks, like enjoy them, like take in the moment, don't rush it, and don't always look at something through the optic lens of a phone or a camera, like visualize it through your own eyes and go for that. Will you be riding the horses at Walt Disney World? Probably not this time, but I will say I do love how there are many different facets of Walt Disney World. You can have many different experiences even outside of the theme parks, and to actually go horseback riding or horse and buggy, what have you, I think is very cool. Just our itinerary is already filled right now, but that's the beauty part of how big of scope Walt Disney World is, that you can go back again and again, and you could have a completely different experience, each and every time. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. And Crystal Way says, "Doing okay, perfect, absolutely," and so glad to hear that, Crystal. Let's see. Giant Peter says, "A month from today, I have to book my summer storytellers dinner." Yeah, and they actually announced too that they're doing I guess like a 1-day Easter brunch and dinner at Storytellers. So I think they said that reservations go up on, does it go up on Friday or what have you? But yeah, it's just for the 1 day of April 5th. And you can do brunch or dinner for the Easter experience. I'm for sure that they'll have the characters dressed in like their formal like Easter spring colors and what have you. But I love Storytellers. I think between that and Hearthstone, and both of them are at the Grand Californian, like they are top notch, whether you want like an intimate sit down dinner or if you just want like an all you can eat buffet with a character meet and greet experience. I mean, you can't go wrong with either one of them. Duffy should be added to Storytellers, in my opinion. He would be perfect. I agree with you with that. I think Duffy would be really cool, especially during Easter time, because you can kind of dress him up in like basically anything you want. And it's Florentin in the house. Welcome in. Always glad to see you, Florentin. John, Make It Rain. Are you going to the steak restaurant at the Contemporary? So yes, we are going to, if you're referring to the California Grill, yes, we are going to go to the California Grill. And we're also going to Steakhouse 71 at, as well. Yeah. So, we're going to both restaurants and, basically, honestly, we're going to, quite a few restaurants. Because we do have the dining plan, so we will be utilizing that. And great food at the buffet. I completely agree with you. I think, honestly, the food at Storytellers is top notch for it being buffet food. Let's see. And get the chocolate cake, of course. Like, now, here's the thing, though. If there is on a menu that there's a souffle or a creme brulee, hands down, I get it every time. Sometimes I end up getting both. You never know. But I would take, actually, depending on the souffle, I would probably take a souffle over a creme brulee, because creme brulee can kind of be a hit or miss depending on where you're going. Now, when Abby and I's first date was at the ranch down in Anaheim, and to this day, out of every place that I've had a creme brulee, they have the best creme brulee. Nothing has touched the ranch at Anaheim. Nothing yet. Let's see. I almost did California Grill 2 years ago, but instead went to Captain Cook's for the dinner. Captain Cook's is good. Captain Cook's is good. Are you going to try any restaurants that are at some of the hotels off property? So, no. Well, when it would be off property, like as far as like it being off of Walt Disney World property, we would be going to the restaurants at Universal Orlando, but like we're not going outside into like the Orlando streets now, unless because Abby and I will be attending a wedding on the 7th. So Tommy and Conductor have another park day at Universal, so they'll probably be there. So I don't think they'll go anywhere outside of the resort, but that'd be up to them, you know. All right, let's see. The best creme brulee used to be at the Grand Floridian Citricos before COVID. The old Citricos. Okay, now that was Citricos is still there, correct? What is what replaced the Wave? Was because there used to be a restaurant called the Wave. Did something replace that? That I can't recall. Yeah, I have to. I'm a little bit rusty on some of the restaurants at Walt Disney World just because I haven't been, you know, in a minute. So hopefully they don't get lost. Wait, hopefully they don't get lost by themselves on the Universal extra park day. Hopefully, I think they'll probably be okay because we're doing Universal on the 5th and the 6th. So okay, so that's right. Steakhouse 71 took over. That's right. Thank you. Because I knew Steakhouse 71 was new, but I couldn't. Yeah, that replaced the Wave, which I love their prime rib, by the way. But in any case, with the extra park day, we're going to Universal on the 5th and the 6th. So hopefully they will have a little touch base of what they're doing and where they're going. We also have like the park hopper to go back and forth, so we can utilize going on the Hogwarts Express, which is really cool. Which that's not even just a traveling thing; that's more like of an experience kind of in itself. For me, I do not get confused at Universal. I mean, I feel like with Universal, because it kind of circles around, and especially like with Epic, because you're either going in or out of one area to the other. So you know where you're going in, and then you just find yourself going out. A lot of Walt Disney World's parks, especially like Epcot and Animal Kingdom, they're very oddly shaped, and there's so many different pathways or walking paths, I should say, that goes from one part to the other. So you just have to kind of know where you're going. I remember going on a family vacation. It was back in 2018, and there was a guy who I don't even know why he approached me, but he came up to me and he was like, "Can you please let me know we were in Epcot?" And he was like, "Can you please tell me where Soarin' is?" And I directed him where to go, but I'm like, there's like cast members everywhere, and I was just dressed like a tourist, and he probably felt that energy, that Disney fan aura, you know. Let's see. The only place I got confused at for the first time was Hollywood Studios, just getting to Toy Story Land. That is very true. When Toy Story Land first opened, I got confused by going through the Echo Lake area where, you know, Indiana Jones and Star Tours was. And then because then I thought, okay, you turn around the corner to Echo Lake and there it is. And you're like, well, no, that goes to like the Muppets Courtyard and Galaxy's Edge, which if you go through Galaxy's Edge, you can get to Toy Story Land on the other side. But I'm like, where is the main entrance? And then I realized, okay, you have to go over by Grauman's Chinese Theater or Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, go down the steps, pass Walt Disney Presents, and then circle around to the right. And that would lead you into Toy Story Land. And I know probably that all just didn't make sense, but I could see it in my head, but you know. It's Florentin says Animal Kingdom is hard, and I'm a directional. Yeah, see, Animal Kingdom. I think out of all the Walt Disney World parks, Animal Kingdom is the most confusing if you're new to it. Like that should be something I should just for fun have Conductor and Tommy say, okay, find this. try following the signs and the pathways and lead us to this. That would be kind of funny. Sean Narani says, right now, Disney Animal Kingdom is replacing a land with another. Do you think they need to add a land after because they need more stuff to do in that park? Polynesian land with Moana and Lilo and Stitch. Very good question. And yes, that is very true, Sean. That even though Tropical Americas is going to be brand new and it's going to be great, I think it fits into the mesh and storytelling and conservation of what Animal Kingdom represents. But when you look at the bigger picture, it is just a land replacing a land. It's not expanding. And I know Animal Kingdom is already big as it is. It's probably over 500 acres. But there's less to do. You need to have more to do. So you can have a park that's 800 acres. If you don't have a lot to fill in those 800 acres, it's all for naughts, So to answer your question, Sean Narani, I do feel that at some point, even though that they're adding Tropical Americas as a replacement to Dino Land, they should add another whole land. Now, I have a theory, and I don't know how you guys would feel about this. Well, first off, I will say, Sean Narani, your idea for like a Polynesian South Pacific area that incorporates Moana and Lilo and Stitch, that would be really cool. Another one is kind of a take going back in time where it's kind of dinosaur, but prehistoric times, is depending on how well Ice Age 6 does. And I know Ice Age isn't a hot ticket item right now, but I mean, it was still a very beloved franchise, especially when I was growing up. I wonder if it does really well, and then with the Fox acquisition, if they can kind of bring like an Ice Age prehistoric land to the park, because then you're kind of going back into the past. You're utilizing a prehistoric kind of thing, but you're using a popular IP again, especially if Ice Age 6, I think it's called Boiling Point, does really well. And again, it's a Fox property. It's an IP that if it does really well, maybe it can fit well in the parks. And we got the one and only Rudio in the house. My bad, George. I called you and wasn't aware you were live. Oh, not a problem, Rudio. Not a problem at all. If you're available after the live, I'll definitely hit you back up for sure. But thanks again for reaching out and joining the live. Let me see when. Here we go. I get lost when I need to leave only. That is true. That is true when you're leaving Animal Kingdom. But for Peter, Animal Kingdom was pretty easy because I know Discover Island in the middle, Africa and Pandora on the left, Asia and India, and Tropical Americas on the right. There you go. I would love to see Jungle Book too. Speaking of India, I would love for them to add the Jungle Book, whether it's the animated or the live action. I know they were in talks of it and it just didn't pan out when the live action came out, but I believe they used to have like a Jungle Book show when the park first opened. But I would love to see like a family, like immersive dark boat ride of the Jungle Book with, like state-of-the-art audio animatronics. Like that would be so awesome. Let's see. I just need Brad Garrett to join Ice Age as Manny's long-lost brother. That is freaking genius, Peter. Why didn't I think of that? Oh my God, and here's the thing, Brad Garrett is notorious, obviously, for doing voiceover work. He's done a lot with Disney and Pixar, and wow, like what a full circle that would be. And what if they added in like funny, like Everybody Loves Raymond kind of innuendo jokes that only like true fans would understand it, but placate it to Ice Age? That would be cool. I don't understand why everybody wants Zootopia in Hollywood backlot if it's just going to be a carbon copy of what's in Shanghai. So to answer to that, John, here's the thing. I would prefer Zootopia over Avatar in that space. However, I would like for it to be kind of its own thing that would, fit for, that would fit under the umbrella of DCA. However, I wouldn't be opposed to them adding a carbon copy because here's the thing. I'm not a fan of copycatting attractions, but I'm okay with it if it's international coming over to the domestic. Because as much as I would love to go over to Shanghai right now and experience Shanghai Disneyland, theoretically that's too hard to come by. So for me to be able to experience Zootopia, I would take anything to see a Zootopia land, a full immersive Zootopia land. And I honestly think it would have fit well in not even just the Hollywood backlot, but they could have done a very nice transition off of Buena Vista Street, and that leads into the world of Zootopia. I just think it just fits better than Avatar, but Disney is still claiming that Avatar is projecting smoothly and it's still going in the backlot. And as I said, I have faith in Disney. I do. I just visually, I just can't see it there. I don't know why. Let's see. An Ice Age ride would work great in Animal Kingdom. Yep, definitely agree. It could be dinosaurs and the Ice Age. In a way, yeah, because I mean, they did have, I think it was the third Ice Age. It was Dawn of the Dinosaurs. So you can kind of throw in to pay tribute to Dino Land USA. Let's see. Ridio says, just wanted to share that IMAX had an investors meeting today and clarified that Doomsday will not be getting an initial USA IMAX release. Dune 3 gets priority. That's interesting. So Doomsday's not getting an initial IMAX. Wow. Okay. Now, could it still be that they get one? They just haven't announced it today, or in the first weekend, it's not going to be. And wow, I'm surprised Dune 3 got that priority over it. That's interesting. Let's see. I don't even know what Doomsday is. Is that a video game? Avengers Doomsday. It's the next Marvel movie that will be coming out later on at the end of the year, but it's going to kind of butt heads with Dune 3, and that's why they're kind of like meshing it together for Doomsday, so to speak. That's the tagline for it. If they add a Stefania joke or something relating to their parents, I would die. That would be that would be funny as hell, Peter. I swear to you. You need to write that in. Disney, if you're watching this, and like take it over to your Fox department and what have you. This is all good stuff. This is movie gold right here. Let's see. But for Zootopia makes you want to go visit Shanghai and go pay for a vacation package out there, which makes more money. That is true. I mean, if Disney really wants to capitalize on it, I can see why they would do that. I just think that they still should do something with Zootopia incorporated in the domestic parks. I mean, Zootopia 2 is like doing gangbusters right now, and I just don't understand why. Although I will say I would prefer it in DCA and Hollywood Studios. So I think it was the right call to not do a full land of Zootopia in Animal Kingdom, because even having the show inside the Tree of Life, I'm kind of like, I do want to see it. I want to experience it for myself in person, but I'm like, I still would have rather taken It's Tough to Be a Bug, despite that a lot of people don't like it and they get creeped out by it, but I still preferred It's Tough to Be a Bug. It felt more realistic. I'm assuming Dune 3 gets the first 2 initial weeks. Doomsday will only be getting opening weekend IMAX screens in select international markets, they said. Oh, that's interesting. I would have thought it would have been vice versa, to be honest with you. Rudio, do you think that they're expecting do you think that they would want to put Dune ahead of Doomsday because they felt like Dune would need the extra push where they feel like Doomsday can basically hold its own? That's very interesting. Do you think they will connect Frontierland to Villains Land? That's a good question. Well, I believe honestly Villains Land might have 3, because for how big that land looks and how like stretched it's going to be, I could possibly see them doing possibly 3 entrance and exit ways, and that's I would say possibly Frontierland, in the Piston Peak area, and possibly where Haunted Mansion is, or running into Fantasyland. So yeah, so I would say honestly, if they were to do that, three entrance and exit ways for Villains Land, I think. Let's see. I think they see more promise in Dune 3 than Doomsday, but also WBD couldn't reserve those screens much prior than Disney gave notice. Oh, okay. That makes sense. That does make sense. Yeah, that was not on my bingo card today. So that's very interesting. See, that's the stuff, folks, like when you like deal with like content dealing with these industries, is like something can like pop up when you least expect it, and you don't even know. Crazy. But yeah, I think honestly everything's coming along quite nicely. I mean, the painting of Cinderella Castle is underway. It's what I'm calling Castle Neapolitan right now, because it's like 3 different shades. But it's still coming along quickly. Piston Peak, Monsters Inc. I'm assuming obviously they're getting the foundation ready for Villains. Buzz Lightyear and Big Thunder will be opening soon. Rock and Roller Coaster will be going down. Tropical Americas is like really full steam ahead. So I'm just very curious to see what the progress is, because we know that Coco is moving, but we don't know really how much, to what extent, because it's more like of the behind the scenes area. And then again with Avatar, we still don't know. Just sent you the official press release for everything said today at IMAX's investors meeting. Thank you so much. Yep, I did throw you a quick text saying that I got it, and yeah, I appreciate it, Rudio. Let's see. It feels they are replacing each area of Disney Hollywood Studios with new areas, section by section. Hopefully it will feel like the themes come together in the end. I agree. I feel like Hollywood Studios has the most incohesive feel to it when it comes to like all these lands. So it's like all over the place. Do you think, Sean, since you brought it up, do you think the Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular is on the chopping block? Because, I mean, it's been there since the beginning. Do you feel like it's kind of like an old retired show? And basically, it's one attraction where if you clear out that section plus the back area, I mean, you can probably get another little mini land or something there, or just an individual attraction. What say you with that, being that like all the, as you had mentioned, like they're just replacing section by section, because they did so honestly with the sort of like with the animation courtyard, they just kind of like revamped it and everything. But there's also the that expansion pad behind it, so that's like in between that and where Rock and Roller Coaster is. So I wonder if they'll add another land there and connect it all together. Let's see. Would they ever do something in Frontierland like they have at Shanghai with the obstacles? Right now, I feel like Frontierland is basically busy on its own right now. They just revamped Country Bear Jamboree. They're adding the Piston Peak area, even though it's its own like land, but it's going to be a land within a land because it's connected to Frontierland. They just changed Splash Mountain to Tiana's Bayou Adventure recently, and Big Thunder's getting revamped. So I think after all this is done, I think Frontierland's going to be done for a while after Piston Peak, in my opinion. They're going to let that land breathe. Had Home on the Range had a good villain that could have been the villain's land transition. That's very true. Very true. Peter says Indy is next on the chopping block. That's what I'm thinking too. My biggest fear with Hollywood Studios is seeing how big Fantasmic and them eyeing adding a land there. I personally don't think they're going to remove Phantasmic. I think it's too big of a show. It's very popular at Hollywood Studios. People still go and see it. They took how much time to revamp it and bring it back after COVID. And it's still a people eater. They get a lot of people in there. And Hollywood Studios is all about a lot of live entertainment and shows. And I feel like when night falls, that's Hollywood Studios Nighttime Spectacular. So I really don't think they're going to go. Sorry, folks, had a little blind spot there. As I said, the internet connection has not been working for me all day, but had a little hiccup there, but we're good. I think I'm back. Can you guys all hear me, see me? So Sean Narani says, yes, I think it is time, even though it'll be sad to see it go, but I will always have the memories. Absolutely. I remember going to see Indiana Jones many times. And when we go down to Florida, I'm gonna go see it. Does anyone know, is the giant boulder back? Did they ever clear that, or is that still MIA? Yes, and we see and hear you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And Rudio says, this is Dana Walden's first big Marvel tentpole release. Do you think she pushes up the release date so that way she gets a domestic IMAX release? I think they'll have to share the Dolby and 4DX too. I think being that they did this curveball with Dune 3, I could possibly see Dana Walden doing a huge move like that, especially since she's going to be taking over as president and chief creative officer. That would be her time to shine, to show that she's serious in the role that she's taking. If they were to move Doomsday up ahead of Dune 3 so they can get the first IMAX release, that would be a game changer. I hope she does that. And not just because, hell, we get to see Avengers Doomsday sooner, but that looks good for the company. That looks good for her. And that would prove that, you know what, they have the best interest of the company at heart. They have their best interest for us fans. And it'll be a revenue source. It's all still about making, the money. And I think that would solidify and prove to know that the role that she got, she deserved, and she knows what she's doing. I agree with that. I hope she does. I hope she does indeed. But yeah, if anyone could let me know, is the boulder still MIA at Indiana Jones? And we got, again, it's not Hollow Gelato without the Hollow. We got Abby, my babe Abby. She wanted to say Hollow Gelato, but she got Hell Gelato Familia. So, but I knew what she meant. She meant to say Hollow Gelato. So yeah, so glad you made it in, Abs. I assume you're done with work. And Peter says, Hell Gelato Abby. There we go. She got it. But of course, Peter had it like responded back to Hell Gelato Abby. Let's see. Driving while chatting. Just be careful, babe. But so yeah, so I assume, and then I think you still have your patience, probably. I assume, right? Yeah, Abby. She's a go-getter, man. Like she's a wrecking ball, as I like to say. She came in like a wrecking ball. No, she gets things done and she does them well. She knows how to do her job. I'll say that. Speaking of wrecking ball, that's another thing too. The 20th anniversary of Hannah Montana will be coming up. Call me crazy. I'm sorry. I'm Team Miley. I absolutely love Hannah Montana. I was in that age bracket where I was like, early teen, or mid-teen or what have you, when it premiered on Disney Channel. And I love how Miley Cyrus became a Disney legend. She's the youngest Disney legend. I actually watched her accept her award at the last D23, and she really did bring in buco bucks for the company. I mean, for that franchise. And the fact that, you know, she defines her whole career and the life she lives now through Hannah Montana. So the fact that she's coming full circle with it, I think Taylor Swift is going to perform with her and everything. So the 20th anniversary of Hannah Montana, I can't wait to see it. It's going to premiere on Disney Plus. So I definitely want to check that out. I still think they need to have a Muppet Dark Ride for those who can't do a roller coaster. Call it the Great Muppet Ride, or as I like to call it, the Great Muppet Movie Ride. That's what should have went in the Grauman's Chinese Theater. Like the Great Muppet Movie Ride, you could have incorporated the IP of the Muppets in a wacky, zany kind of way that they were going to do that anyway. They had the concept art for it when Jim Henson was coming on board to team up with Disney. It was called the Great Muppet Movie Ride. They should have just done that. And as I said, I love Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, but it did not belong in the Grauman's Chinese Theater, and it did not belong replacing the Great Movie Ride. And I know the Great Movie Ride was old, you know, it needed updated, but it was classic. And I loved how, again, it was a people eater. I mean, you could get a lot of people on those trams, and it just took you through the golden age of the movies and Hollywood. And it's like, I loved that. Why did they do that? I have no idea, but I would have been okay with it if they did the Great Muppet Movie Ride to pay tribute to Jim Henson. You add the Muppets into the IP, and I think it was because they didn't want the Muppets as the headliner in the main marquee in the center of the park. They wanted Mickey Mouse. So, I mean, I could understand that, but just frustrating. But I do agree with you, Sean. I think, honestly, maybe when Villains Land opens and they get rid of the villain show that took the place of the Lightning McQueen Racing Academy, they may remove that theater in general, or they may add to that theater and put in a family Muppet Dark Ride to tie in with Rock and Roller Coaster. Maybe that'll be the new Muppets Courtyard, because honestly, that area seems to me to fit more of a courtyard than what really Muppets Courtyard really was, to be honest with you. So I agree with you on that. Giant Peter Venture says, of course, George's Team Miley. Oh, of course. One of my favorite songs of hers, when she was kind of ending her squeaky clean image, when she was trying to like prove to everyone like I'm like adult, is the song We Can't Stop. And we can't stop, and we won't stop. I love that song. I got that song on my Amazon playlist. He wants to show up in the Wrecking Ball to the homes behind Toy Story and the golf course at Universal. Oh, absolutely. I'm telling you, I would give them a 90-day eviction notice. I would clear out that golf course. I would expand Universal Hollywood. I would expand Disneyland. I'm sorry. Like, bye-bye, so long, farewell. I still don't understand their logic on the Muppet Show on ABC/Disney Plus. They didn't even establish if it's monthly or seasonal show. So from what I understand, Rudio, is this kind of was like a testing ground. It was only just going to be a special, and they really wanted to see like how well the public took to it, because it seemed like anytime they did anything with the Muppets, they had like a full-fledged series, and they were losing money because no one was turning up. So I think they wanted to do a special just to kind of see, to test the waters. But it got rave reviews. It got positive, remarks on it. So I think now moving forward, they'll turn it into a show. It just hasn't gotten there yet. So right now it's still just that one episode, which is the special, so to speak. I know it can kind of be, it's weird how they had that kind of set up. George's daily great movie rant. Oh, of course. If a great movie ride comes up, I have to give my rant. Pigs and Wigs was hilarious. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, I think out of all the decisions that Disney has made, aside from removing the Magical Express and not bringing back the Magical Express, adding the reservation system and not removing the reservation system, It was getting rid of the Great Movie Ride and not replacing it with something that could match or be better than the Great Movie Ride. As I said, even though I do love Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, I feel like at Walt Disney World, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway would have been good when they were doing the new Fantasyland and they had Mickey's Toontown Fair and they were going to change it to Pixie Hollow. And then it went from Pixie Hollow to Storybook Circus, which is now, they could have placed Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway back there because you could even still do Storybook Circus because it's still based off of the main characters. You know, you have like Pete, you know, you have the Great Goofini, you have the character meet and greet. So, and there's a scene in Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway when they're trying to get to the park. There is like a carnival scene, you know, so it's like it fits into that zany world of Mickey Mouse, you know, so that's where I would have put it. But hey, you know, it is what it is. Let's see. And we have, I do apologize. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name, so I apologize ahead of time if I butcher it. Caleb, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, I do apologize, but welcome in. What do you think about the changes happening with the Disney company? And what do you think is going to happen in the coming years? Oh, nice. Okay. So a very good question. And as I said, welcome, definitely welcome in. I think the direction that the company is going, I feel like they're in a positive, upbeat direction than what it was. I feel like with COVID and the shutdown and just the whole world, you know, in turmoil at the time, it just didn't hinder the Walt Disney Company, but excuse me, it hindered a lot of businesses, a lot of private businesses, small businesses, family businesses, homes, industries. Like it affected everything. And I feel like, and then some of the decision making by Disney, having Bob Chapek in as CEO, which I get, he was a numbers guy. You know, he came from consumer products. He had to do some things, but I feel like he went a little bit gung ho on the slashing of you know, funds and what people were to expect, and that's why Disney knew that they did what they had to do at the time, but then they had to move on. I feel like they're starting to get out of the trenches now. I feel like with Josh D'Amaro stepping in as CEO and Dana Walden as president and CCO, I feel like that Disney is starting to make some. As I said, I can't speak of it right away because again, everyone's going to make mistakes. You know, it's an up and down roller coaster, no pun intended. But I feel like that they're on an uptrend now, getting back to where they used to be for sure. Giant Peter Avenger says Tinkerbell's hot friends. Yeah, of course you would add that in there. They actually have Tinkerbell and her fairy friends at Paint the Night. They have a few of the fairies walking around. Let's see. Sean Arani says, think of this Muppet Show as like a pilot episode. If it does well enough, they might order a whole series. Exactly. I think that's the best way to put it. The one that looks like Megan Fox as a fairy. Oh my gosh. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is so annoying. It replaced something that was absolutely beautiful and cinematic. It's the most disappointing thing that Disney has done aside from ruining the BTS. And you're unlocking absolute facts. Yeah. So everything that you just said right here, like this is it. It's like, I feel like I'm biased towards Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, not so much out here at Disneyland, because I feel like they did it right out here. They put it in Toontown, and they have the better queue line for it. It just fits well. That's where the bias comes in. I have a very hard time walking into the Grauman's Chinese Theater to go on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway down there because I knew what was in there. I knew what it replaced. And I absolutely loved the Great Movie Ride. I'm sorry. I will keep on speaking on that till the day I die. And if I ever have a chance to interview someone from Disney and talk to them, I'd be like, please, for all that is holy, if there is some way, somehow that you can incorporate a version of the Great Movie Ride back into the park somehow, we would welcome it. Let's see, where are we? Let's see. Do you think it was better with Fast Pass or Lightning Lane now? Very great question. I preferred the Fast Pass. Actually, I'm old school. I like the paper Fast Passes where you could just go up to the kiosk, you stick your park ticket in, and you get the you get the paper Fast Pass. I used to collect those. Um, but then I also liked Disneyland's Max Pass because I felt like it was very easy because then you could start doing it digitally on the app on your phone, but it was treated like a digital version of the paper fast passes. Now with like the lightning lane and the individual lightning lane and the multi-lane, it is like so confusing. And it's like, and then they attached it to the Genie Plus, which they had and then they got rid of because that was under like the umbrella of Chapek, and it was just like, oh man. See, addressed. I wish they had a ride like Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, but for Donald Duck. That would be cool. I mean, I actually enjoyed the Donald Duck cartoons. I also loved the Goofy's how-to cartoons, like how to ski, how to play baseball, how to fish. Yeah, how to get in shape. I love those cartoons. And then we got Mademoiselle in the Haas, and of course, did someone say BTS? Yeah, anytime BTS gets brought up, like Mademoiselle's there. She is like when I say a lot of people say that they're huge fans of BTS. No, she is like their number one biggest fan. Like she is dedicated to BTS. And for all of you who don't know what BTS is or who BTS are, they are a male K-pop group. Very, very popular. As I said, I knew of them, but I remember their song. One of the songs, I thought it was the Jonas Brothers because I would hear it all day at work. And I just thought, wow, this station really loves the Jonas Brothers. But no, apparently they love BTS. So, and then we got Jesse Adventure in the house. Welcome in, Jesse. And Rudio is asking, what is the BTS? Is it behind the scenes? Kaylin, if I'm pronouncing your name correctly, as I said, I do apologize. If that's what you were referring to with the BTS, was it for like the abbreviation for behind the scenes? And Kaylin also says, as a child, the Great Movie Ride was the ultimate experience. It was so enthralling and it made you feel like you were in the story. Every ride felt personalized. It was insanity for the time. I miss it. Yeah, I'm right there with you. Literally everything that you're saying, like that is like, it is true. You got like a different experience because there were times where wherever you were sitting, you got a better view of something where you went through the different genres of the films. You went through the Old West. You went through like Mobster Town. You went through fantasy, like with the Wizard of Oz. You went through the romance of Casablanca. You went through the musicals of Singing in the Rain and Mary Poppins. It was like adventure, like with Tarzan, and horror with Alien. It's like, oh man, take me back. Take me back. And Kaylin confirms, yes, the behind the scenes aspect of Hollywood Studios. That was my favorite, like the backlot tour, for example. Yeah, that is true. I remember like when the park first opened, when they were tied to MGM, it was a lot more of the behind the scenes, movie making process, television, music videos kind of thing. I mean, hell, I remember when that was the where they filmed Adventures in Wonderland that was on the classic Disney Channel. Oh man, talk about childhood memory core. Adventures in Wonderland. Oh my God, I used to watch it all the time. But they filmed that at Disney at the time, Disney MGM Studios, and the new Mickey Mouse Club, where Justin Timberlake, Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, Ryan Gosling, they all got their start. Kerry Russell. I mean, come on, who didn't like Kerry Russell in the 90s? I mean, come on, folks. The big curly hair, like, whoo. Anyway, Lord. And then Mademoiselle, BTS equals Bangtan. You're gonna make me really try to pronounce. I can't pronounce this. I'm she Mademoiselle got me into BTS more than what I've known. Like I'm not 100% there yet as far as like knowing like all the like the terminology for it, but we are going to go see BTS in the theater for they're actually doing it live for their first show for their worldwide tour. So that's going to be really cool. The fact, because I have seen BTS concerts in theaters before, but they were just through past concerts. This is going to be in real time, so this is going to be really cool. Okay, so God, you're going to make me try to pronounce this. Son Yeon Don. I don't know. Oh my gosh. Radio says George wished he was with Kerry Russell stuck in the convertible in Adam's big pocket. If you know, you know. That is true. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. But yeah, so yeah, all those places got all those places were existing there at the time Disney MGM Studios, and yeah, they had the backlot tour, yeah, so and that essentially became Toy Story Land, and then the New York street when they had like the Singing in the Rain where you grabbed on the umbrella and it used to rain. And that's also where they had the Hunchback of Notre Dame live show. And oh man, they utilized that street so well during Christmas time when they had the Osborne Family Spectacle of Lights. That is another thing, Disney. Here's the thing with Hollywood Studios. I think that park, I'm glad that they're trying to like, get with the times. I enjoy Slinky Dog at Toy Story Land. Galaxy's Edge, you guys kind of know how I feel about Galaxy's Edge. It needs a lot more love. But there were a lot of subtleties that were part of Disney MGM Studios. It actually was my mom's favorite theme park, like of how it was back in the day. And she probably will still say to this day, like MGM. She would always refer to it as MGM. That's what she would call it. She would say MGM. But she knew it was at Disney, but there were a lot of subtleties that made Disney MGM Studios charming. And they kind of got rid of that when they added all the expansion. Like, I wish that they done the expansion, but it didn't hinder the subtlety experiences of that park. That's just me. Let's see. Let's see, where are we here? We got Kev on the go. Welcome in, Kev. Mademoiselle, stop trying to make BTS happen. Let's see. And Abby says George's bias is J-Hope. Yeah, he really is. Here's the thing. J-Hope is my bias because I love his swag. I feel like I have that kind of swagged like personality. But I could also have a little dab of, no, I can't finish that sentence. That's going to sound so wrong. I was going to say I have a little dab of Jungkook in me, but that just sounds so wrong, so bad on so many levels. And then Mademoiselle goes, come on, Kev. And Kev goes, hey, girl, hey, to Abby. And then let's see, Kaylin says, to me, I just don't understand that the taking away of the great movie ride. It makes no sense. It's a Chinese theater in a movie-themed park. Like, why not update, if anything? Yeah, like, it's based on the movie. So whether or not you wanted to keep a behind the scenes or be part of in front of the camera, you're still going through the movies. And another part of that, Kaylin, it was at the very end of the ride where you come to like that open room where it has like a big movie screen, and they pay tribute to like all these movies. Like, it shows 12 Angry Men, it shows Indiana Jones, it shows Star Wars, it shows Sister Act, it shows Beauty and the Beasts, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It shows all these movies like paying tribute to again, the golden age of Hollywood and the movie making process. And because the park is even called Disney Hollywood Studios, it's to pay tribute to Hollywood. And I think eventually that park is going to get a name change because it's kind of going away from that. Let's see. Rudio says, if we're repping our K-pop sets in the chat, Blink and SKZ4 Life. That's Rudio's. So I see. Was that a Honey, I Blew Up the Kid reference? Yeah, if you know, you know. Let's see. I'm gonna work on you, Kev. She's gonna try to get you into BTS, man. I tell you. And then Abby gives heart hands, and Rudio goes pause. John, make it rain. George, will you guys at least walk through the one in Hollywood Studios to see if anything is different? If you're referring to Galaxy's Edge, John, I've been there to Galaxy's Edge at Walt Disney World. There's really no difference to it. It's basically a carbon copy. And I think that would be a waste of time for Tommy and Conductor, to be honest with you. They can easily see Galaxy's Edge out here. I really want them to experience the difference and the new things that they'll experience by going to the Florida parks. Let's see. Let's see, where are we here? Give me 1 second. Let's see, where am I here? Oh, there we go. Let's see. So Kaylin says, Star Wars Land could have been so good. Oh my God, imagine epic universe level characters and immersion with Star Wars on the theming like hello. Exactly. I mean, Kaylin, you get it. You understand it. That's perfect. Like literally, I call Galaxy's Edge a boiling pot of water with no meat and potatoes in it. It's like you have this immaculate land and it looks very impressive, but there's nothing going on. Like I want to see like a band. I want to see droids, creatures, aliens walking around. Like, and I know they're kind of getting back to like having like the classic Star Wars characters that will be implemented out here in Disneyland. They're not even doing Disney World at the moment. That starts on April 29th. But I don't know if that's like even enough. I know they're trying to like backtrack it a little bit to kind of get it out of the sequel trilogy kind of moment, but we'll have to wait and see, to be honest. Let's see. Jesse Adventure said maybe they will rename it Disney Florida Adventure. I mean, here's the thing. I'm not too keen on that title, but I mean, Disney would probably name something like that just to kind of like throw something into it. Kaylin says, that's crazy, but I bet that's going to be it too, just like Disneyland. Yeah, it's exactly like I would not like that title, but I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they did something like that. Oh, okay. So he thinks, I think John means Mickey and Minnie's. Same thing. I've been on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway down in Florida. As I said, I've been on it twice. And honestly, that was like two times too many. I'll say one time too many because I went on Mickey and Minnie's first down at Florida because it wasn't up at Disneyland first. So just the one time. But as I said, every time I walk in that theater, it just kind of, it kind of makes me sick to the fact of like when I used to walk into that theater, it used to be the Great Movie Ride. Yeah, it needs a name change because going from behind the movies to more in the movies. Exactly. Like, so other than Jesse had mentioned like Disney Florida Adventure, like what do you guys think would be? I do agree with Jesse as far as like adding adventure to it because Disney's all about adding the term adventure because I don't even think that you could even call it a studio anymore, really, and then it's not really Hollywood. So, yeah, so I would agree with Jesse with the adventure part. So, what would be, I mean, I guess how a lot of us were talking about Disney cinematic adventure, or cinema adventure, you could do something like that. Um, that's that's what I would think, to be honest. I don't know um, if there would be anything else. But yeah, as I said, I just felt like doing a live today. I wasn't, planning on doing anything like super special and what have you. But I'm glad it was a better turnout than I expected, because, as I said, I do apologize for the delay and the pushback. That, as I said, I was supposed to go live much earlier, but the internet was not cooperating with me. So I'm glad I was able to get it working, and was able to give you guys a suitable live. And Sean Arani said, yeah, Disney Cinemagic. Oh, Cinemagic Adventure. I like that. Yeah. Said a Cinemagic. Did they use that I think that was the name of a show in Disneyland Paris, I think. And then Sean Arani says, have fun. Thank you so much. Kaylin says the sequel trilogy was just awful in general. So that was going to flop anyways. Yeah, I feel like they had high expectations for the sequel trilogy, and that's why they put all their eggs in one basket. And then when they realized that with The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, that it was, I mean, it made money, but I don't think it was I don't think it was like up to par of what Disney was expecting, but it was already done. And so, yeah, I think that's why they're kind of backtracking a little bit on the original trilogy and what have you. I think it's probably going to be like Disney's animation adventure. Okay. And then, yeah, that's the one I was talking about, Peter. Cinemagique. Fifi. Oui, oui. Croissant. Oh, man. But yeah, I can't wait to experience Disneyland Paris. I'm just waiting for them to finish up the touches on Disney Adventure World, and of course for the Lion King ride to open up. I'm literally waiting on that. There's no way I'm going out there while they're still building it, because I want to experience that myself. And that'll be my first time at Disneyland Paris, so definitely looking forward to that. And then Giant Peter Adventures says, Rise of Skywalker, just hearing that name makes me age another 10 years in the theater. Yeah, as I said, I was kind of okay with Force Awakens just because it was like a brand new movie, from Star Wars. And then, it brought back like the original cast, what have you. And so I was okay with Force Awakens, but The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, I'm like, okay, you lost me. Let's see. Oh, dear Lord, I'm not ready for George on that trip. He might get us banned and kicked out. I promise I'll be on good behavior. I promise. Oop, sorry. Fingers crossed. Okay. No, I'm kidding. But let's see. Oh, so let's see. John Make It Rain. Do you think there is any ride at the Florida parks that can rival Indiana Jones at Disneyland? I think they're going to try to do it with the Indiana Jones ride that's going to replace Dinosaur. And as I said, because the tech is going to be different and added, but the classic original Indiana Jones ride will always be, that's the GOAT, and I really wish that they would have done something, even though it's going to be an original storyline. I wish that they would have done something different than Indiana Jones with the same ride vehicle and same ride layout and system and all that. But I think outside of that, I think the ride next door will maybe give it a run for its money with the Encanto ride, to be honest with you. That show building is massive, and I think that is going to be a full, truly immersive. I think it's going to be like Haunted Mansion, kind of caliber, but it's going to be like Mystic Manor, but times 10. That's what I'm hoping. Have you ever noticed or had any of the AP people follow you? Let me see. Have you ever noticed or had any of the annual pass? Is that what you're referring to, John? Follow you at the parks? Disney Fantastical Worlds. That's another one. Was the Dino Ride 2 Stories at Walt Disney World? I know it had levels, like when you would go like down. It literally has the same track layout as the Indiana Jones ride out here, which Abby, again, I will throw it at Abby's dad, got to work on the ride vehicles for Indiana Jones and Winnie the Pooh out here. So very happy and proud of that. Asset protection undercover. Yeah, no. But so that's my take on everything. I think, as I said to, I think it was Kaylin's first question was, I'm just very excited what is coming, in the horizon in the coming years for the company as a whole, for the films, because even with Pixar's Hoppers, Abby and I will be doing an early screening of Hoppers, but for the people who attended the world premiere at the El Capitan, like red carpet, they're giving high praise for Hopper, so I'm very excited for that. So hopefully this is Pixar's comeback for how long with an original movie. And if that is the case, we may see something of Hoppers at Animal Kingdom, because it's all about, still like the environment and like the, the safety of animals and what have you. So I'm very excited to see that. And yeah, I'm just excited just all around for the company. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that we can get D23 tickets. Because I just love being amongst, the fans, the investors, all of us, and it's just a great time. It's where you meet people. It's where you get to hang out, make some new friends, join old friends, and just enjoy all the stuff about Disney that we all love dearly, so crossing my fingers, to get those D23 tickets. So, and for all of you who are attending D23 or thinking of attending D23, as I said, if we could all get tickets, I will be there on location. So if you see me, don't be shy. Please come over, say hi. I love chatting it up, and as I said, I absolutely love it. Giant Peter says, and George is wearing a Lion King shirt. I am. I actually got this at the studio in Burbank when D23 was holding the holiday event. They had the store opened, and they had all these shirts on clearance. So I'm like, yeah, I'll grab some. So I got this one, and then I got Genie, and I thought I got one other one. Thought I got like 2 or 3. I wanted the red one that had Donald on it, but they go figure, they didn't have any of my size left. They were all in the extra small and small. That's usually what everything is left, because no one's really that tiny and petite, unless it's for a kid, let's see. Will you guys be getting haircuts at Magic Kingdom? I know that is an experience. I don't know. Like, I haven't gotten my haircut yet. I think I'll probably do that once, just because I never done it before. That would be on my bucket list, but I don't think it'll be this time, just because I don't want to waste any precious time, showing the guys around then to get a haircut. Like, I'll probably do that on a separate trip, because Lord knows I probably need a haircut. Tommy and Conductor really don't have that much hair, so I don't think they really need a haircut. Plus, I think Conductor just recently went for a haircut. I was thinking of getting a haircut before going on the trip, but I thought, nah, I'm just gonna let the locks wave, When is the early screening? Is it down in Florida? No, it's actually, we got the early screening at the AMC in Burbank. It's going to be on, let me see. Hold on. It's on one of the dates. Give me a second. I got the ticket saved in my wallet. March 2nd at 7 p.m. So that's the D23 event we're attending. Let's see. First original movie from Pixar since last year to not feature someone who looks a lot like George. That is true. That is true. Will you guys be going on? I'm assuming you mean the Velocicoaster. Yes, we will be going on the Velocicoaster for sure. I absolutely love that coaster, and I want Tommy and Brandon to experience it. And what's so interesting about that coaster is that the more that the ride goes, the faster it goes, and it's just like, and it already starts out fast, so it's a thrill. I don't know if Abby will go on it. She said that she would try it. I don't know. I'm going to have her look at it first and then have her make that decision, because again, I don't want her getting sick on this trip. So do you think Disney will ever make a ride as intense as the Velocicoaster? Ooh, if Disney would. I don't know if Disney would go to that caliber as like Universal thrill. Because even the very first suspended roller coaster that'll be at Disney, which is going to be the Monsters Inc. coaster, it's going to be thrilling, it's going to be fun, but I don't think it's going to be as intense as Velocicoaster or the Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift. I think if there is a coaster that borderlines on that and it's at Disney, it would be Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind at Epcot. I think so far that has been like the max Disney has gone to as far as like ultimate thrill seeking. I'd even say a little bit of Tron, just because of like the vehicles in Tron and the launch. I just wish Tron was a little bit longer, but I would say the launch for Tron and Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, I think, is like the borderline that Disney has gone so far. But I don't know if they would actually go to the full extent of like Velocicoaster or Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift. That I'm not sure. That I am not sure. But in any case, folks, I want to thank you all for joining me today on this live. As I said, it was a last-minute decision and a delayed decision. I'm just so glad that the internet decided to work for me. And so, yeah, so I'm very glad that whoever was able to join today was able to join. John, Make It Rain, Giant Peter Adventures, Rudio, Abby, Mademoiselle, Kev, Jesse Adventures, Kaylin, definitely welcome in. So glad you're able to join the live. So yeah, if you ever definitely like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. So that way you get all content. I do more content of lives here in studio, and I also do a lot of vlogging actually on location in the parks at Disney, Universal, Knott's Berry Farm, even outside of the parks. Just, we do a lot of stuff, that's coming up that's going to be really cool. So definitely look out for that. And of course, on our 2-week Florida trip, down to Walt Disney World and Universal Orlando. And we also cover the Disney Cruise Line. So definitely, as I said, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And so Kaylin, welcome in. And thank you for all your questions, comments, opinions. Greatly appreciate it. Sean Narani. We have a little bit of time here, so I want to thank everyone. Let's see who else we got. Let's see. Did I miss anybody? I will not end the live until I know that I said everybody. Florentin, Crystal Ray. It was so good to see Crystal Ray today, and Lucas Sanchez. So yeah, thank you everyone for joining in. And wait, hold on. I was going to end it here. Wait, hold on. The Villains Coaster, that might be it. Actually, Peter, I didn't think of that. That if Disney really wanted to go bold and they're really going to have a Villains Coaster, they just might. I just don't know how much that they will be, in that it's in the Magic Kingdom, but I really think that shouldn't stop them. I think but I think they're going to try to get as many people on it as possible. But to your point, that still might be. You never know. Abby is probably going to quote Sid from Ice Age when she sees it. No thanks, I choose life. That probably would be Abby. Abby would say something like that. And maybe Spider-Man will in Shanghai. Yeah, that's actually true. It may be the Spider-Man coaster as well. Good points, Peter. But in any case, folks, thank you so much for joining me today. As I said, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell for all future content coming out of Holo Gelato. I'm George, the Disney Italiano. And as I always say, in Disney Italiano fashion, stay safe, stay healthy, stay Disney. Italiano out.